one of the big goals for us was to basically have more diversity in our group, to see more different faces, different experiences, different people hopefully finding what we do really exciting and joining our sort of strange, wonderful craft and profession.
Put your music on Spotify and SoundCloud and Bandcamp and all those little obscure music blogs, because that's where I'm searching and that's where I'm finding all the gold.
Like, I've always been about discovery, finding new artists, breaking new artists. So my post is really on what's next out there with music, and I'm constantly engaged on that level. So it's just an automatic, natural, organic thing to do music supervision for me.
We are pleased to have partnered with the Guild of Music Supervisors to host this special panel on music supervision here at Baldwin Hills Crenshaw.
This show is called Taking the Stage. It's the African-American music and stories that changed America. And I had 2 nominations. I was against myself in this category still, Outstanding Music Direction, for another show, Staying Alive, a Grammy salute to the music of the Bee Gees. Longest titles ever. I don't know how they got it all in, but this is a show that won.
Taking the Stage, African-American music and stories that changed America.
And Mr. Ricky Minor, you want to say music? You say Ricky Minor. What's going on?
Man, everything is everything, and that's for real.
You know, I love your positive attitude about everything in the business. And when you talk about the business, you want to talk about music composing, arranging, television producing, the Grammys, the Super Bowl. I mean, you do everything there is to deal with music.
You know, I find it, it's an extreme honor. And so I don't take it lightly. You know, I want to be the best me, and I make that available. If someone wants it, great. I mean, I'm not the only choice. Some people want strawberry, someone want vanilla, someone chocolate, someone want a swirl. I mean, you know, whatever you want, it's out there. So I just have to be ready, and whatever the type of music, whatever the project is, I work really hard. I mean, and I think a lot of people see the job. Like, I mean, I sometimes I would watch sports and I go, I could have caught that. You know, but the deal is you have to suit up and get in the game, because you don't know what it takes to do it if you're out in the stands or watching at home. You got to get on the field and play the game.
Have you ever felt like you're working with this artist, you want to break them through, but you're almost trying too hard?
I pitched Leandria Johnson for the very first episode for a song called Better Days, and it was released last year as a single on her label, but it didn't really get much traction, but it was a great big ballad song, like a Celine Dion type of gospel song. And I was ahead of my thinking when I wanted to put it as an end credit in the first episode, but I was on to something. And sometimes life works itself out this way. So the very last episode, Tamala Mann was supposed to perform, and for some reason she pulled out at the very end. And this was my chance to get Leandria in this very last episode to do this song I wanted her to do since the very first episode. There was a lot of pushback on her particularly because there had been a lot of bad press, and you know, in the gospel world it's a very fine line putting someone out there who there may be objections to her being on this show at this point. So I literally had to fight and go to bat, and she has no idea how hard I had to go for her to get her. But it was the perfect ending and bow to the whole season, and to have her to do that song. So that was one thing for me. I was very passionate, and I literally fought with the executive producer, with OWN, with Lionsgate, with the creator of the show. Like every person, I had to go to bat for her, but it worked out, and it was a beautiful ending to the show.
For people who are aspiring music supervisors, what kind of advice would you give them as far as developing their musical taste?
Well, musical taste, I think everyone has their favorites. They are a fan of music, different genres, different artists, and I think as long as there's a deep passion and love for that, you know, this job is for a lot of different people.
You know, it's very interesting. Much like a lot of my colleagues here, there's a lot of listening that's involved. I mean, we get pitched probably 70 emails a day from different music labels and music publishers for different artists that they want us to check out. But in addition to that, I'm scouring the blogs as well and listening to new music. Spotify is a great resource. And then just going through and kind of cataloging all of the songs that I like and think that they could work for the shows that I work on.
Tell us about a couple of the shows that you've been working on.
I am just about completing the second season of the Shannara Chronicles, which was originally on MTV, but MTV has moved all its scripted television to Spike. So we premiere next week on Spike. I've got one more episode to finish, and then I'm going to have what'll only be my second vacation in 17 years.
Do you give yourself goals as far as like what you want to do for the next project after another one's been done?
Yes. One thing with Entertainment Tonight and The Insider is I wasn't really able to dictate the stories or much of anything. And now that I'm on my own with Music for Scenes, I'm able to kind of inform what messages I want to put out there, what productions I want to work with, so that it's inspiring things, it's things that are really helping people connect to themselves and to society on a larger level. So what you'll see from me is I'm not going to do a lot of shows that don't kind of put out that positive energy. That's one of my big things. So that's kind of how I do that. My goal is to only do content that has a message, that has a moral. I mean, everything can't be all, rosy, but that at the end of the day, people leave watching that show not only having heard good music, but having got something for their soul.